A million faces, they're looking at you.
Hello, Blue Rockers. Welcome to Blue Rock Talk with Connie Willis. I'm Connie Willis, and this is Swellness Wednesday. I feel swell. How are you, Blue Rockers? Earth's most interesting conversations here on Blue Rock Talk, and that includes people, places, and things. And those of you that are new to us, and thank you very much. I know we got a lot of new subscribers due to that Bigfoot in the Rockies documentary that I did. That was fun. So thank you for being here. So we do all sorts of cool stuff. Let me let you in on it. On Tuesdays, we have something called Crypto Connie Tuesday, and that stars Stan Larry Murray, the godfather of BitShares, one of the best people of all. He is building his cryptocurrencies. He's building the BitShares dynasty, and we learn about it through him, and it's put into layman's terms. And trust me, if I don't get it, I ask him and he tells it again. So that's what that's all about. Now this usually, well, coming up in the future, not yet, but Wasted Wednesdays is also coming in, and that will be, we'll be alternating on Wednesdays, but it's all about alternate health. And Wasted Wednesdays, of course, is a serious look into the cannabis industry. Also, Far Out Thursdays. That's anything from remote viewing, UFOs, aliens, and anything interesting. Okay, bees making honey is one of the other things I like to talk about because I think that's cool, and I think it's interesting. Now, tomorrow night, we're going to have Lori Williams on. You know her. She's been here before. She's a remote viewer, professional remote viewer, and also a remote viewer instructor. That's the psychic spy stuff, men and goats, right? She can do that. But tomorrow night, she's going to be talking about where she lives. It's in an Earth ship. It's in an Earth ship. So we'll do that tomorrow night at 9 p.m. Eastern. And then Friday night, Bigfoot Friday, except this Friday night I will not be doing a Bigfoot Friday because I'll be on Coast to Coast, and I'll be talking about UFOs. In fact, the Rendlesham or Rendlesham, whoever you are, the big incident there, basically the UK Roswell. And Jim Peniston is going to be on. It's going to be fantastic, so I'm looking forward to that, and I hope that you'll join me there too. And then Sundays we have Stan's Bible lecture at Ain't Yo Daddy's Bible School or class, for sure. It's a lecture, college level, and he'll debate you when you're ready, Sundays at 2 p.m. Eastern. And you never know when I'm going to pop back up. You never know. So we have this new show here, Swellness Wednesdays, Alternative Health. Before we do that, I want to remind you of this right here. I want to take a look at this. I've got Blue Rocker merchandise. Look at that. Hoodies, mugs, and T-shirts too. Great gifts for anyone. In fact, one day I'm going to see somebody out wearing one, and I'm just going to freak out. I'm going to come up and hug you. So at least you'll know who I am if you're wearing that hoodie, unless someone found it in the trash later or the dumpster. I hope not. I hope not. I hope that doesn't happen. Also, I ask if you could keep Blue Rock Talk alive. You can do that in crypto down below, or head on over to Patreon. You can do that too. And we will keep Blue Rock Talk alive that way. Okay. So, I've got to tell you something secret. I've got this like dry mouth thing going on. I can barely talk. And I'm going to explain to you why. It's one of the side effects I'm having right now, but the rewards are going to be incredible because this will go away, but it is there at first. So I'm going to bring on our guest so you'll know. By the way, Bigfoot in the Rockies, the link is down below. Doing very well. Thank you. Pass it on. It's just a fun video. If you really want to know what it's like to go Bigfooting in less than 7 hours, we got what you see there and more. but then you'll experience what it's really like. You really will. All right, so Swellness Wednesdays begin. We got Margo Toms with us. She is with Essential Health, and she may just carry the show because I can't talk. Oh my gosh. Welcome, Margo, to Blue Rock Talk with Connie Willis and Swellness Wednesdays. How are you?
I'm great, Connie. Thanks so much. I'm excited to be here today.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, it's all about alternate health, and you really got some cool things going on. Can you tell more about who you are and what you're passionate about?
Sure. So I'm a nurse practitioner, and I focus on hormone replacement therapy. And in particular, I do a lot with pellets and creams, things like estrogen, testosterone. Sometimes people hear about low testosterone. Midlife, I treat patients, even teenagers sometimes, but usually 30 to 40 is when patients start, all the way up until 60s and 70s, but hormone replacement therapy. And then along with that, weight loss, because it all kind of happens at the same time. Usually midlife, things start changing, things aren't working like they used to. So people kind of lose their way a little bit and
start buying Corvettes and doing things like that. You know,
exactly.
You're like, what'd you do that for?
Yeah, exactly. So it's that time when things kind of start going a little haywire that people come in and see me. And really what happens is a lot of times it's their hormones that are off, and it's not that they're losing their mind or that they're too stressed or that they're just gaining weight because they're not trying, enough. It really, the common denominator is that their hormones are low. So patients come in, I do blood work, check those levels, and then we come up with a customized plan for each individual. Some people need, more of one hormone and not as much of another. So it's all individualized to what that person needs.
Those of you just joining us, this is Blue Rock Talk with Connie Willis, and it is our first show in Swellness Wednesdays. I feel swell. I still continue to think of the Leave It to Beaver when I thought about this, and I just thought that'd be kind of cool. So, because everybody else does Wellness Wednesdays, so you always got to be a little different here. By the way, it is January 23rd, and I want to say happy birthday to my dad. He would have been 79 today. So, Dad, the also a big blue rocker for sure. I know he's here watching, and he's probably, I'm sure he's supporting and cheering me on. So I got to say that to my old pappy. Old pappy, good guy. He should. It's too bad that you weren't taking care of him, because I think he would still be alive today. Yeah. So, and why I say that too, you guys, is because I have met with Margo. I had been hearing about hormone replacement, and I didn't think too much about that at all. I had no real thoughts, but I heard about it. In fact, I tried to get my mom into it, if you guys remember that, and she's in her lower 80s. I had actually left right before she was going to get her appointment, so I'm not sure if she got it or not. I hope so, because it would really have taken care of her in other ways. So I didn't think much of it for a while, and then recently, I just had it with some weight gain that I have. It's not like me. I'm usually very thin and very athletic and very motivated. I haven't been that at all. I mean, it's just been, I've been pushing myself to do anything. And I'm one of those people that you have this calendar, right? Margo, you probably do this too. You got this calendar, right? And you mark things off, and you can't wait to mark things off. Are you one of those?
Yes, I love, checking things off my list. Yeah, absolutely.
So good, doesn't it? You know?
Yeah.
So I'm one of those, and it was hard. I just kept putting things on to the next day or the next day or the next day instead of doing them and marking them off. So finally I said, you know what, I got to so I couldn't exercise. So this weight's on me. I've gone through a lot lately, and I said, I just got to go do this. So I'm going to find out about weight loss. So I remembered hearing about this HCG weight loss, and I found Margo and went to her and started hearing about hormones. She thought I said hormones. I was saying weight loss, because I knew she did the phentermine, which I've done that before. And most people, by the way, in television, I've done it all my life, everybody's got these phentermine. At one point when it very first came out, do you remember when that diet very first came out? All of a sudden, everybody looked great. It's like, why? Why does everybody look good? Not only did they look good, but their houses were very clean.
Yeah, they had a lot of energy.
They had a lot of energy.
One person. Yeah.
But after, so I knew that always worked out. I saw that you did the phentermine, so I went in and I wanted to ask about that HCG. Now, the good thing about it is I went in to ask for this HCG because, and then that goes back to what I was talking about at the very beginning. But I went to ask about it. We ended up started talking about hormones, and then we realized, I realized, this is two different things. So now I'm doing the entire package. So we want to tell you about each and everything that we've got going on. So I am taking hormones now, and I'm also doing the weight loss that she has with the phentermine as well as the HCG. So all these things you can do together, but before you can do anything, you got to sit and talk with her. You got to find out, she's got to find out what your goals are. And then she does a blood test, and she finds out, what she needs to do from there. And then she becomes like this chef, and she throws this recipe of pellets together to make you feel good. And bottom line, you lose weight, which also makes you feel good in many ways, not just your body, but your confidence level and how you feel about yourself. And it's always better to get around when you're only carrying yourself and not like a second or third person with you.
Right.
And also the hormones. I never thought about that, and people don't teach that very often. So that's why we're here with Swellness Wednesday and Essential Health. So, Margo, okay, hormones. When I got my blood test back,
right,
you were like, Connie, it was almost like you just said you need it badly. I know everything was they were all in single digits and very low. I was surprised I was alive and walking.
Right. Well, that's what happens is we don't talk about hormones. It's a naturally, our levels go down as we age, and that's what's normal. But the problem is that, we're, 30s, 40s, 50s, we're still young. We're going to live another 40 or 50 years. And it's difficult to walk around with low hormone levels. So patients all the time come in and say, well, I want to have my levels checked. I'm not sure if it's related to all of these other things. And a lot of times I check the hormone levels, they're low, like, yes, yours, exactly, like single digits, basically zero, I think I put on one of the comments, like pretty much none, which is normal, but but that's not normal for us. That's not how we normally function. Like, we don't feel good when our hormones are low. We're tired. It all comes together. We're tired. You start gaining weight. Like you said, you're not motivated. So, some people come in because they say, I want to lose weight. But when we look at the whole picture, I usually recommend, let's take a look at your hormones also, because it's the underlying thing a lot of the time. Sometimes it's just your diet that needs to be cleaned up, and it's not related to hormones. But most of the time, it's all of it that comes together at the same time.
So it's not good for me just to have a baked potato for every meal and Cheetos on the side? It's not okay?
Maybe when you're 13 or 15, yeah, that's okay. But no, as we get older, the same things that used to work don't work as long, because our body's changing, our liver changes, our hormones are low, and we can't continue that diet. So.
Well, I can see why. I mean, I was putting it to something else because I didn't have any of this education. That's why, this is a big part of this. I just thought, oh my gosh, I'm just getting old. By the way, trigger thumb, two trigger thumbs, a trigger pinky now. I'm thinking it's texting, but it's also the age process. But I think more so because that's what the doctors will say that work on your hands with trigger fingers or thumbs. They say it's the aging process. But you know what? I think from what I've been learning, it's all the low hormones because it starts affecting your bones and your tendons, correct?
Absolutely.
Would that be about right? You think?
Absolutely. Yep. Because estrogen provides lubrication to your joints. So, you can have joint pain, you can have muscle stiffness, soreness. You go for a workout, it takes you days to recover. And what happens is a lot of times people go to their primary care, for one symptom or another. I'm feeling more tired. I'm not as motivated. I don't feel like
they don't care much about this, though, do they?
Like you said, it's not taught. I wasn't taught I'm a nurse practitioner. I wasn't taught in nursing school or nurse practitioner school. Physicians aren't taught. I mean, when we talk about hormones, we learn the menstrual cycle, and that's really about as far as it goes. Right. And that doesn't even apply to half the population, men. So, hormones are complicated, but we're learning more, and I've really learned from other providers who were self-taught, years ago. And so it's been the hormone replacement therapy medicine has been pretty much handed down to me, and it's been an interest of mine for a long time, and I've been doing it for a long time now. But it's not something that's taught. And when you go to your primary care, they'll say, well, you're just getting older. Oh, you're menopausal. Well, you need to exercise more. But the answer is
motivation to do that.
Right. I mean, you can't get started. Or if you do, you go exercise, and your same workout that you used to do doesn't give you the same results. Or you go on your low carb diet, and you're like, a couple of days, you're frustrated because you've hardly lost anything. So it doesn't work like it used to. And it's not because you're not doing a great job. It's because there's something else, and it's usually low hormones that are making the difference.
Right. People are at that point where I was just last week. I thought, you know what? It's age. I'm just falling apart quicker than anybody. I've been young all my life, and all of a sudden, bam, all these things are falling apart. I'm gaining weight. And then I can start seeing why people eat emotionally. I'm like, this is all you got to do now. I'm going to sit here, eat, and watch Connie on Blue Rock Talk, watch my shows. Nothing wrong with that.
That's great. That's awesome too.
Cool. Right.
But you don't.
I just started seeing why people do that, right?
Yeah.
But then, as you were talking about it, and then Jerry Wills, one of my good buddies, I don't know if you got to see his video, I sent it to you, but he had been talking about it for a while, a healer. He talks about, swears by it, says that his wife Kathy was saved by it, but he too, a guy like, I don't know, I think he's 7'8" or something. No, I think he's 7'1", 2 or 3 or something like that. Very tall guy.
Wow.
And big guy. And he's like, oh, I do it too. And that's something too that people, when they do get a little bit of education, right, what they get is they only think it's for women. Guys, it's not. That commercial you all have seen of that guy that plays the old man, he's fishing or whatever he's doing, and then a good-looking girl walks by, and then he, next thing you know, he's taking off his shirt and showing his abs, right? That's all I remember.
Right.
He's over 70 or something like that. He's doing the same thing, right? This is the same stuff.
It's the same. Men and women, we have the same symptoms. We start feeling tired. We lose, zest for life. We're not as motivated. Sex drive is lower. Weight gain, irritability, problems staying asleep. Those are all classic. Weight gain. For men, it's the same thing. I mean, we both have the same things, and it's just the combination of hormones are different. Some men, of course, need much higher doses of testosterone, and I use mostly pellets, also creams sometimes, or injection. And women, we're a little bit more complicated, but that's my specialty. That's what I love. So, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, a combination of those 3 hormones for women. So, but the men go through the same thing. We call it andropause for men, menopause for women. And really it's a long process. It's not, a month or even a week or a year. It's 5-10 years sometimes where you can feel miserable. And by the time you get through it, you'll be a completely different person. And you don't really want to be that person, honestly. It's, overweight, it's tired, it's not motivated, it's not engaging. You're not engaging in things that you enjoy in life. You just end up going home from work because I'm tired. Oh, I'm stressed, so that's why I don't sleep. And and it's for both sexes, absolutely.
You get sad, unhappy, and you just feel like this is it. And that's the way it is in this world, where nobody tells you, oh, it's just your hormones. Let's fix this.
It's easy. It's an easy fix, really.
It really is, but not unless you get to the right person, not unless you talk about it in some way. My primary doctor from before had actually, when I wasn't feeling well, had looked into my thyroid, and he had said, most people don't look into thyroids.
Right.
He did. I started feeling better. And then, of course, you looked in and saw the other things, too. My gosh, it's easy, and it's not this horrible thing either.
No,
so I go in, we figure out what we got to do. Margo checks my levels, decides how I'm going to pump you up. What was that? How did they do that?
I'm going to pump you up. That's right.
She decided to pump me up.
That's right.
So she calculated what she was going to put together. So she puts these little pellets together, makes me lay there, pulls a little, gets me on the I guess the lower hip, upper booty kind of area, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Shoots me up with these pellets. And I guess, what did we do that? We did that on a Monday or Wednesday?
It? Yeah, maybe a week and a half ago? Was it just a week ago?
Gosh, I think it was Wednesday, last Wednesday. Yeah, I think it was a week ago, Wednesday.
Yeah.
I think it was Sunday or one day, and it wasn't even, no, we might have done it Friday. Well, whatever it was, I know I'm not even at peak yet. One day, one of the days in the afternoon, I just went, I feel great. And I also said I forgot what it felt like to feel good again, which is the same exact thing I've heard other people say. And that's exactly what you would say, too, if you guys are also feeling the same way. It's like, why isn't somebody talking about this more?
It happens so slowly. And there's so many things that are going on in our life that we have excuses. Like, I'm so busy with work. My marriage isn't that great. Of course I don't have a good sex drive. All of these things in our external life that fit the description why we have all these issues. But really, when you get going on the hormones, which doesn't take that long, a couple of weeks, and in your levels, we're just replacing. It's nothing too crazy. We're just replacing what your body used to make. And so, like, when you come back in about a month, I'm going to recheck your levels. I'm rechecking the same blood levels of the hormones that your body would make: estrogen, progesterone, testosterone. So it's not like they're not. It's not a chemical. It's it's what's called bioidentical, which means it has the same chemical structure as what your body makes. So I'm just really replacing what your body can't produce anymore. The ovaries can't produce the hormones, testicles can't produce hormones, they retire. And so when you come back, we'll check those levels, but it just takes a couple of weeks and all of those things change. And all of a sudden you go from, I feel miserable, I just want to go to bed, to, of course I want to go there. I want to get out and do something. And then the weight part, I mean, that all ties in with it. You have more motivation to exercise. And
it just, you had made mention at one point, you said, a long time ago we died at 57 or something, right?
Yeah, average lifespan in 1910 was 47. So people always say, well, what did we do before? I'm like, well, we just died. We died. And that was the end of it. And we didn't experience much past menopause or andropause. But now, I would love to be 100 years old. And I don't want to be 100 and brain dead and not functioning. I want to be, active and doing things and feeling good. And I have patients in their 80s that still say, Jane Fonda she did hormone replacement therapy. She's been very public about that. And she said, I've had the best sex life in my 70s than I've ever had. And that was because, I know that sounds crazy, but that was because she got started on her hormone replacement therapy at that age. And so this is for the long road,
That alone should get every man in the world going, I'm doing it.
Yeah, sometimes husbands want to buy me cars, and because they're so thankful that their wife is back, and and for women too, like it feels,
and vice versa.
Vice versa.
Glad they're both back in that
absolutely
aspect, and they were just they just probably thought they were just growing apart.
Right. Just the chemistry is dying or whatever. And that might be, that's part of, midlife. We're trying to reevaluate for all of those things. And that's part of what I do too, is look at, well, let's tease out what's going on. What's your hormones? We can easily fix that. And then we'll see what's left. And then same for the weight. Okay, we can isolate. All right, now your hormones are great. Let's look at your diet and your exercise. And we have to be intentional about what we do. You can't just say, I go exercise. Well, there's certain types of things. We need to work on building muscle, and we need to work on getting our heart going. So it's not just anything. And the diet, our diet has to change. Some of that is acceptance with aging. We can't eat, well, I guess you like potatoes and Cheetos.
I don't know where that came from, but, it puts on weight.
I love cookies, right? So, we can't keep doing those things. And so I just work with patients on first getting the hormones and everything physiologically in balance. And then after that, or at the same time, really, looking at every other aspect: diet, exercise, psychosocial, where are you at in your career? Is this really what you wanted? And let's get you to a better place. So,
well, I know that I remember hearing from a doctor years ago they were talking about birth control gives you, I guess, estrogen.
Yes, it does. It's much higher dose. Birth control pills are synthetic, which is fine, but and they're about 10 times as strong as hormone replacement therapy. So that's great when you're in your 20s or whatever younger age to prevent pregnancy, but you don't need that in your 40s or 50s. Oh, no, I don't. Oh, yeah, I don't see. I just see the like the little postcard thing.
Aw,
Yeah, the Blue Rock Talk thing. I don't know why. That's
that's
so
weird.
strange.
That makes no
Yeah.
sense. Everybody else is seeing us, right? Everybody's got us.
Oh, oh.
Are you
I thought
back?
that nobody was looking at me.
Oh, we're looking at you the whole way. I did a
Oh,
close up of your nose and your
oh,
eyes,
perfect.
and yeah.
Yes. All right. I'm over here fixing my hair and fiddling with stuff.
So
No
you
worries.
guys can tell Margo's got a sense of humor. She really knows what she's talking about as well. And it was such a blessing to meet her because I am on my way now to feeling better. In like about 4 days, I started feeling it, and I know I'm not at peak. But, and then what, 3 to 4 months, I'm going to redo it.
Right.
And then, and by the way, I said, is this something I'll have to do forever? Because no one wants to get started on something they got to do forever. But she said, you're going to want to.
Yeah.
It's not like you have to. You're going to want to. And you
Yeah.
said you have patients, what, into their 80s?
Yeah, exactly. And those patients that are in their 80s are very feisty because people have tried to take away their hormones and they're like, you're
Hormones.
exactly, you're not taking away these hormones. So, and I love it. And of course, I have no intention of that. Yeah.
You would be
Uh,
not a very good lady if you did that to us, right? It would
right.
not
That would
very
be
nice.
miserable.
Don't do
Yeah.
that to us.
Yeah.
Well, and that's what, you know what? Okay, when I was living in Florida, everybody was about 20 years older, and I was the young one at the time. It was great. So I was running around doing everything all the time. But that, they were all at the age where they're all talking to each other and they're talking about, well, my doctor said this, my doctor said that. So I would hear it quite a bit.
Right.
But I also noticed something, and I really learned a lot. There were some people that were just riding their bikes, playing tennis, playing manja, getting together for that, just doing everything, constantly doing something.
Yeah.
And even in their 80s.
Right.
And then other people, they were in their 60s, early 60s or late 50s, and they were just watching the TV, sitting around like I had been doing.
Yeah. Ready to cash in their chips. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
what a difference. You know, I thought, you know what? I don't want to be those. I want to be that one that's running around and riding their bike and having a good time. I want to go out, you know, playing, doing something.
Absolutely. And like you said earlier too, you know, in our own minds, like, of course we want that. Not everyone wants that maybe, but most of us want that. But then when your hormones are low, or your testosterone is low, it sounds great, but it's way too far away. You just don't have the motivation. Like when it comes down to it, you're like, okay, but I just can't even get off the couch right now. So maybe I'll make it happen tomorrow. And that's that hurdle that's constantly there. Oh, there you are. All of a sudden now it changed and I can see both of us.
Okay, good.
Yes.
That's what I did for you. Let's see.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you.
That's live, folks.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. So it's, you know, people say, "God, I feel like I'm dragging myself through my day." And,
Yes.
and some people are really good about pushing themselves and other ones, it's just like the rest of us, it's tough. But when you have, you know, your testosterone back to a normal level, then that obstacle is pretty much eliminated. You're excited. You don't even feel like there's an obstacle. You're like, oh, I can't wait. You know, I take hormones myself, and before I started, I do triathlons and I love to travel. And that year, at the end of January, December, kind of looking back on your year, I thought, I haven't gone anywhere. I didn't go anywhere this entire year, except back to Michigan for a week, but I really didn't take any trips. And I didn't do any triathlons. And of course, I was working in hormone replacement therapy, and I checked my levels, and like yours, the testosterone levels were almost zero. And I thought, wow, I thought I was too young, but I wasn't. So anyway, I started doing hormone replacement therapy. That next year, I ended up doing an Ironman triathlon. I went to South Africa and Dubai with some friends. Like, I just started, and it wasn't like that I had these big goals. It just came naturally. I wanted to accomplish those things. And at the end of that year, the only thing that was different was that I started my hormones. And so, and of course, I felt great. I just, a new like leash on life. So, and it has helped me to keep my weight down. So I just think that, I'm really a big fan of let me experience everything myself, because I really like to know what my patients are going through. So everything that I offer at Essential Health, whether it's hormone replacement therapy, the pellets, HCG diet, phentermine, I've done all of them. So I can really speak from my own experience and just tell you what happens from from the stages of the pellets, how soon you're going to start feeling better, to what the HCG diet looks like, and what to expect on that, to Connie's dry mouth and using some phentermine. So yes, that does happen, but that's also a good sign that medication's working, and you're going to be losing some weight. So
well, it's really true, you guys. Right before we went on, I was like, I don't think I can. Have you ever eaten a persimmon? And it just, takes everything out, just sucks it all out. Put a sponge in your mouth or something like that. That's where I'm at. I said it to her, and she goes, "Oh, I forgot to tell you that."
Yes.
So I'm getting the hormones, and
Right.
I feel good.
Great.
I can see why people do it over and over again. How long does it last? 3 months, 4 months?
The pellets, between 3 and up to 5 months. I have some patients that come back every 5 months, but that's rare. I would say, honestly, some patients come in a week or so before 3 months, but the average is 3 to 4 months. And, you come into the office, the actual pellets are about the size of a Tic Tac. They look really like a Tic Tac. They sit in your fat tissue, which is really how our hormones are naturally stored. They sit in our fat tissue, and they absorb over time. So they completely dissolve. It's just nothing foreign going into your body. It's not like plastic or anything strange like that. It just dissolves completely. And you come back in 3 to 4 months again, and we place new ones. Usually I rotate sites, but it takes like 15 minutes. We chit chat. You just look out the window, and it doesn't hurt. And then you from in the beginning, you go from 0 to like how you feel so much better. And then the goal is, ideally, let's not drop down. If you want to, go through a big cycle and take a break, you can, but you're going to go back to feeling how you did before. And that's okay. But ideally, we like to keep hormones stable and not up and down.
And this is something you should look at, not when you're in your 50s or 60s or 70s. You should,
Right.
if you haven't, right? But
Right.
Start looking at it early.
Well, and that's the other thing. A lot of times, women especially, they'll come in and say, I've been toughing it. I've been having hot flashes and night sweats for, well, how long? Oh, 4 years. 4 years. I mean, that's awful. I don't know how people can endure that.
You have it that long?
Yes, yeah, you can. Everyone's different. It's very genetic. But patients will come in and I know we want to feel like we've toughed it out, and I'm like, okay, well, you get a gold star. There's no benefit ta-da. And actually, during that time, because you haven't had your estrogen or testosterone, your arteries the arteries harden up. That's why we become at higher risk for heart attacks around menopausal age. So you're not doing yourself any favor by toughing it out. I mean, I do triathlons. I'm all about taking the hard road sometimes, but there's no benefit. The only thing that's happening is your skin is aging faster. You're probably losing your hair. You're losing sleep. You're gaining weight. You might have, ended a relationship prematurely because your moods are all over the place. Who knows? Maybe you quit and then internally, yes, all kinds of other fun things, sexual dysfunction, arteries are hardening, just the aging process kicks over a lot quicker. Osteoporosis sets in during this time. So we want to keep the hormones. There's no point. Yeah, there's no point. Yeah. Well, that's why the great news is we have hormones. We have modern medicine that's been around since the 60s, actually. And you can use that and not have to go through all that and preserve your best self, or get back to your best self.
It's kind of like an anti-aging kind of thing.
It's absolutely anti-aging. And a lot of the conferences for hormone replacement therapy are anti-aging conferences.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's definitely part of that.
Wow. Well, if you're just tuning in, this is Blue Rock Talk with Connie Willis. I am Well, they're all talking about the show still. So if you see me looking, they're asking questions. So that's what I wanted to say. If you're out there in the live chat right now, if you have any questions, please put them in all caps so that I can see them. Let's say hi to a few people that are in here. Mike Crow, hey, welcome to Blue Rock Talk. We've got Kim Still in here as well. Keith Kroll is here. I know he's going to be a patient of yours.
Oh, great.
He's been ready and waiting for the show. He's like, come on. We were going to do it last week, but Margo had to go out of town. And so we're doing it now, but he couldn't wait. I was like, wait till the show. You got to learn about it from the show.
Wonderful.
Earth's most interesting conversations here, people, places, and things. This is our Swellness Wednesday, and with Essential Health, this is Margo Toms. We're talking about hormone replacement, weight loss, and it's kind of, you can do the phentermine or you can do the HCG or the both.
Right.
So this is what we're going to do for you too, Blue Rockers. We got specials. If anybody comes on here and you got something to sell, you got to have a Blue Rocker special. So we've got a cool Blue Rocker special. Can you tell everybody what that is?
Sure.
Do you remember?
So, yeah,
I got them down below.
Okay, if you can remind me. No, I think, I remember. So the initial hormone consult, if you want to come in and have your hormones evaluated, there's a free consult. You can come in. There is blood work. We can do that a couple different ways. But for the Blue Rockers, it's a free initial hormone evaluation. Yay! So everyone loves something free. The blood work, for my cost, is $175. So the cost for the blood work, if you do it through me at the office, which is convenient, is $175. The other, or we can maybe use your insurance. Sometimes insurance pays, not always, but we can talk about that. The other thing is a weight loss evaluation. So we've got the hormone evaluation. There's a weight loss evaluation if you want to just come in and talk about losing weight separately. That is just a $75 visit fee, and we can go over, your habits, what are triggers, what are issues, and and kind of evaluate where your problem areas are, and in conjunction with aging and all of those other factors. And then the final thing is HCG. And I did want to mention, so HCG, people get confused with human growth hormone. The letters are very similar. It's not human growth hormone. That is something completely different. But HCG stands for human chorionic gonadotropin. So it's a hormone, not the same as human growth hormone, but we use it for weight loss. We use it for a lot of things. We use it for infertility. We use it for changing hormone levels. So HCG is a diet. It's pretty strict, but it's wonderful. It's the only thing that I can tell patients when people come in and say, I really just want to lose weight fast and get somewhere and see some progress, and I'm willing to do it, whatever I need to. HCG is a wonderful diet. It's still a bioidentical hormone. And we can talk more about that. But basically, the special for Blue Rock specials is $200 for the HCG diet. That includes all the office visits and the actual HCG medication itself for 40 days. And usually, sometimes that medication, people charge $1,300 in crazy prices. But I don't see a point in that.
Man, well, I guess, if you can do it, I guess.
Yeah,
Depends
right.
on where you're at. Go to Beverly Hills. I'm sure it's more.
I'm sure it is.
So, I like what you had said at one point. You said, try it. Try the hormones. Just check it out and see how you feel. But you know what, though? Man, that is so wrong of you, because it's just going to happen. Once you get in, you're going to like it. There's no question. No question. You
feel so much better. Yeah, and some people are scared. I don't know, hormones, it sounds kind of a little bit different, or they're not used to it, and we haven't talked a lot about it. Your body's aging how it is naturally. It's not going to change anything. Your ovaries aren't going to change. Your hormone production is going to be the same. So try it for a few months, see how you feel. And if you don't notice a difference, which of course I never see, but if you don't notice a difference, you can go off. But most people usually have that aha experience of, I can't believe I've been drudging along for so long without this.
That's the exact word. I mean, enduring, drudging, you got all the right, you've got the right words for sure.
Yeah.
And that's what it just still amazes me. I mean, with less than a week, I just stopped in the middle of the day and went, I feel great.
Yeah.
I haven't felt that way in a while. I feel like, when I used to go around playing basketball and baseball and golfing and just all these other things. Now I feel good enough to go do all those things, know that I will have that strength, but also, just feel good while doing it.
Right.
Again, you just always attribute it to something else. You attribute it to age. You attribute it to, I guess maybe I did the wrong thing. No, you didn't. You just don't have any hormones.
Right.
Yes. The biggest thing to me is, why are we not being educated in this? And since I've spoken to some people about it, saying, hey, I'm going to do this show, this new thing, and it's on hormones. Oh, I do that. I've been doing that for years. What? Why didn't you tell me?
Right.
You saw me over here bummed out.
Yeah, and it's personal, and people don't always want to talk about it. And
really?
There's...
Is it personal? Is it really?
Yeah, I think people feel, hormones.
Really?
It's just... I think it depends. Like some people, a lot of times men will talk about it at the gym, and women, we talk about, well, I've got these symptoms, but it's just, it's not mainstream yet. And it's getting there, actually. And it's been around for a long time. It's not that it's new. Like I said, hormone pellets have been used since the 1970s. It's just, it's not part of regular Western medicine that's being taught in medical schools. And, a lot of us providers, we go through all of our training and schooling, and we do what we were taught. And this is something kind of outside of that, but there's such it speaks for itself. There's such a need for it. It's becoming so popular because people are seeking it out because they feel so much better.
Yeah, they're hearing from someone that says they feel good.
Yeah.
Look, I've sold a lot of products in my life for Home Shopping Network and QVC and infomercials, and just in radio and TV in general. You're always selling something, even if it's a song you just played on the radio. You're always selling something. But this is, it's about how you feel. It's all about your life and your attitude and your behavior. All that changes because you feel good again. And I just can't believe that how quickly it's happened, and how everybody I've talked to since, and what I've researched now, and what I'm feeling myself. Why wouldn't anybody have told me about this?
I know. And I feel like that too. I feel like I just want everyone to find out, because people all the time say that exact sentence. Like, I wish I would have known about this sooner. And I always say, I'm trying to get the word out. I try to educate people all the time, because I love what I do. And I want people to know about it, because it changes so many aspects of your life. I have, patients that have been at their rheumatologist that have, are feeling miserable, and they end up coming to see me. And just with some estrogen and low dose testosterone, they don't need any of their rheumatology medications, or a lot of, all the medications that I take patients off of are now antidepressants. Sometimes people have been on them for years, and that's not going to change. But some people start in their 40s and 50s, antidepressants, sleeping pills, of course, high blood pressure pills, and all the things associated with weight gain, but also anti-inflammatory medications, arthritis medications. I take them as Xanax, anxiety things. Those are all things that are the common denominators, they're hormones. So once I fix that and replace it, they come off of all of those other things. Or a million supplements, a lot of supplements too, which are fine. It's just, the problem is that they still don't feel great. It's still, something is not quite right. And yeah.
Well, maybe that's where the supplement companies out there don't want you to know about this. So that's why nobody else is educating, because they're already making their money that way. The last thing they want to do is... Yeah. But they need to jump on board with this. My gosh.
Well, and the other thing, hormones, bioidentical hormones cannot be patented, because they... because it's like bodily fluids, certain things that are like bioidentical things, they can't put a patent on it, which means that the pharmaceuticals cannot make money off of it. So there's they're just starting to, some companies are using the route, and they patent the route of the hormones, and that can be marketed and they can sell that. But the part of it is, the reason why is because our society is driven mostly by pharmaceutical companies and what they market, and there's not a lot of budget for marketing, because they don't make any money off of that, off of this, the hormones particularly.
I gotcha. Well, yeah. I bet somebody figures something out at one point somehow. They got to. anyway, it's amazing to me, folks. I mean, I'm not making anything from this at all. She can verify you on that, but
yes, absolutely.
I am really amazed. I'm so happy because it's given me hope now to go, oh my gosh, I'm not going to feel like that for the next 30, 40 years.
Yeah, what a relief.
Oh my gosh, definitely a relief. So what do we got going on here? Kim Steele out there, by the way. Hey there, Blue Rockers. Good information. I want to feel like Tony the Tiger after eating cornflakes. Absolutely.
Yes, that's it. Exactly.
Think outside the box. Check out Tot Revolution channel on YouTube about this subject. TOT, does that ring a bell to you?
No, it doesn't, but okay.
But somebody else is out there talking about it too.
Okay, great.
Thanks, John. Yeah. Okay, so another question. All right, so we I go in there looking for the HCG weight loss, and then I get the hormones, and then because we had this little no big deal. So now it's like, oh yeah, HCG, we can do this weight loss because I want it off quicker. Now with the hormones you can lose some,
right? Mostly
because you're feeling good and you're getting active again.
Yeah,
I would think, right?
Yep, absolutely.
So the HCG though, kind of melts the fat away, and that's what I'd heard before. And I said, "What? 2 pounds a day? Wait a minute, that would be fast."
I know. HCG is a whole other thing that's just it's in itself is amazing. But
is that
HCG,
male and female for the HCG?
Yeah, both men and women, and I know, and men actually usually do better. This is where it's so unfair. Us women have more body fat, and this diet works to get rid of your body fat, but somehow the men seem to lose more weight. I'm like, oh, darn it.
They get it all. They get it all.
I know. I'm like, this, darn. But so HCG is a hormone. It sounds a little crazy, but it's naturally found in pregnancy. And what they found in the 1960s is that pregnant women during times of famine did not feel hungry, and they were able to, for survival purposes, they were able to use their own body fat for energy and not feel hungry during those times. So there was a doctor in Italy that started figuring out this is kind of interesting, and then fast forward to, a few years later, we started giving HCG, the hormone itself that's found in pregnancy. We do give it to men and women. It's not like you're pregnant, but it's a low dose. Don't worry. Don't be scared about that.
Guys are going to freak out.
Well, I know. They've already, forget it. But no, it actually works wonderful. So we give low doses of the HCG hormone, and we actually put you on a really low calorie diet. When I first started doing this diet, probably 10 years ago now, I thought, well, this sounds crazy. But then as I saw patients and losing all of this weight and keeping it off and not feeling hungry, then I really started looking into it. So a lot of times people will say, well, if I eat low calorie, like what's on the diet, of course I'm going to lose weight. Yes. Well, let me tell you, one day of the low calorie diet that you're doing on HCG, you'll feel miserable. You'll feel starving. You'll be cranky. You'll be awful. So that's terrible. You're not going to last very long without the HCG. Yeah. And then, that's okay. And then, if you do the low calorie diet without HCG, not only are you going to feel hungry all the time, but then once you start eating regular things again, that fat is going to stick to you, and you're going to gain weight, probably more than you did before. So the key is you have to use the HCG. Yes, you could lose weight on a low-calorie diet, but this is a very specific diet with the hormone. The hormone makes it so that you're not hungry and so that you can use your own body fat. And the average weight loss, the usual HCG course is 40 days. You can go anywhere between 21 and 40 days.
Wow.
And in 40 days, the average weight loss for women is about 26 pounds.
Amazing.
I know.
I love it. That's why I came to you, right?
I know. It's
fast.
Wonderful. And for men, it's closer to 30 pounds or even 35 pounds sometimes, but closer to 30 or 32 pounds for men.
That's not right.
I know. And it's amazing because, we work so hard to lose 2 pounds, 5 pounds. And the great thing about HCG is it just in 40 days is not that long. No. You get to where you're going. And sometimes patients will do 2 rounds kind of back to back if somebody wants to lose 60, 70 pounds. I had a wonderful married couple. They both came came in, they were around 250 to 300 pounds for her and him. They both did 2 rounds of HCG. He was actually on the schedule to have gastric bypass. He did 2 rounds of HCG and lost just under 100 pounds, and she lost about 80 pounds.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're wonderful, and it's once again, I love my job because patients start the HCG diet. They come in for a follow-up in 2 weeks, and just in the 2 weeks, I can see it. I can see in their face that they're thinner, and of course, when they come in, they're so excited. They're like, I can't believe this is so easy, and the weight, like they're worried that something bad is going to happen. I'm like, no, this is what happens. Of course, we have to figure out, well, why did you gain the weight to begin with? If you were eating pizzas and not exercising and a hot fudge sundaes, that will still have to change. I'm sorry, and it's rough, and I'll help you through that. But we have to figure out why you gained it to begin with. But just getting it off and getting you back to like a healthier life, then it's easier to kind of make those changes to keep it off.
And when you do the HCG diet, do you need to be a certain age or no?
Doesn't matter. I mean, I just treat adults. So for my practice, you just have to be an adult. And no, I mean, I've treated young adults to people in their 70s. I'm not, honestly can't think of my oldest patient, but definitely in the 70s for sure.
That's just amazing. I mean, I had heard of that before, and I thought, there's just no way, that must be tough. Now, hold everybody's horses now. Guess what? Like, I just got the shot today. You give the shot to yourself. Mm-hmm. I did it. She made me do it in front of her.
Don't be scared. Like, yes, it's a little baby shot, right? Right,
Connie? Yeah,
it's a baby
but it was
shot.
Scary. It was freaky.
You did a good job.
I did. I was like, well, that didn't hurt. So she was right. The thinnest needle I've ever seen. So, okay, you do that.
Yes.
And now, today, like, I'm going to get something to eat. I got to get some steak. I got to get some steak tonight. And smashed potatoes. I got to get smashed potatoes, cream spinach. So, right, I'm supposed to eat everything.
Yes, everyone's probably confused. Like, what are we talking about, eating those foods? The first 2 days are loading days. And while the medication's getting going in your system, you're getting your body used to metabolizing a lot of fat. So honestly, the first 2 days, people usually gain a couple of pounds, and it's stressful. But I always tell them, don't worry about it, because it's going to be off in 2 more days. And then you go to the low calorie part, which will be phase 2. And you eat, fruits and real foods. It's nothing artificial. You buy everything at the grocery store, fruits and vegetables and lean proteins, nothing weird. You can live a normal life on it. No alcohol, just for the 40 days while you're on it. But then every day when you get on the scale, which is the most exciting part, like next week or later this week for you, Connie, you'll start noticing some days it's a half a pound, some days it's a pound or 2 pounds. Every day you will lose weight. And on average, it's about 0.6 to 0.8 pounds every day. And that's how we come up with, 26 pounds or so for 40 days.
There we go. You stopped on me. I was like, oh, wait a minute, I got to get there. Let me get there. Hold on. So I'm going to eat me some steak when we're done.
So you're in the loading days, and it is interesting to see how you feel eating. You're supposed to eat a lot of high-fat foods. So some people, even just the psychology behind that, like, okay, how did you feel eating everything, having a hall pass, eating everything you wanted? Yeah, and a lot of times people will say, well, it was really fun, but then I felt so sick and I felt terrible, and the emotional, like, oh, my stomach was so upset. And then you go to the low calorie days, and you realize, okay, first of all, I can get by on a lot less. My stomach feels so much better. My mood is like, food affects us. And
well, okay, so after I just stuff my face with anything and everything I want
for 2 days, yeah.
Which right now, I'm okay. I don't even feel like doing that, but you say you better do that. It's going to be more effective.
Yes.
Okay, so not a problem. I'll force myself to eat, bacon, mater sandwiches, and everything else, right? So all right. So then, phase 2 on Friday, I start eating like a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And
yeah, real foods
right?
like you can, fruits and vegetables, oranges and apples and berries and things like that. Vegetables, I mean, there's a whole list of them, and the vegetable, like you can have as much of that vegetable as you want. So at lunch, and then you get, two proteins. So an average lunch is, a chicken breast and you can have a whole plate of broccoli or asparagus or cucumbers or, like I said, I've done all these things myself. So when I was on HCG, I ate a lot of tilapia because it's thin and you can have 2 whole fillets. And when you look at it, you're like 2 fillets of fish and a whole plate of, like salad or asparagus. I'm like, it's not like it seems normal to me. It doesn't seem too crazy.
That's true, but for 40 days or 20 days, then you're like, I gotta have something else. So am I going to at one point get over that and just be, oh, this is cool?
Yeah, you'll get into a routine. And the other part of it is that once you when the decisions are made, like this is what you're having for lunch, then it's amazing how our brain just kind of stops there. And instead of, every day when you think about what should I have for lunch today, all these ideas of, well, maybe I'll order Jimmy John's or I'll go to Chipotle or go here or that. Well, yeah, every time you do that, then all of those things are in your forebrain. And so every day you have to challenge yourself not to go get I did great today. I didn't go there. So when you're on your track and you're eating the things and the decisions are made, it kind of becomes mindless. Now, it's not very exciting. And I usually recommend people kind of scale back their social life because you just kind of have to be in control of things during that time. But once again, it's 40 days. I mean, how long have people been working on their weight? Years. 40 days is not that long to really get a big chunk of weight off and get back to, 26 pounds of fat is a lot.
And that's exactly, that's a small child.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. I got my kid on my back with me all the time.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
What is that, an 8-year-old kid? What's I don't know what that would be. So, all right. So once it's over, it's not going to come right back, right? It
doesn't.
And you're going to be eating differently because you want to, and that's how you feel.
Yeah, so there's 4 phases to the diet. The first 2 days is phase 1, which is the loading days. You're in that now. Phase 2 is the low calorie time. That's that I think about like at boot camp. Like it's okay, you'll get through it. Sometimes it's a little rough, but you can use the phentermine or other medications to help. And when you get on that scale the next morning and you see the weight loss, then you're excited. The next phase 3, is after the low calorie time. We actually reset the metabolism, and during phase 3 you'll end up eating about 2,000 calories a day. So you actually eat quite a bit after this low calorie time. You do stay away from carbs, breads and pastas and cookies and candies, and you have more of like an Atkins kind of protein diet. But fruits and vegetables, a pretty normal diet. You can have alcohol. So for those 3 weeks, you live a normal, regular life, and pretty high calorie. 2,000 calories is going to feel like a lot. And then after that, phase 4 is back to regular life. So that's when we talk about, okay, you want to add in, some cookies or some other things, or, you want to go out to eat and eat a burger and fries. That's fine. It's just that can't be part of your every week schedule or your routine. We have to make some trade-offs somewhere. So
what is, when it comes to alcohol, when you're talking about that, is there a better alcohol to have over another one?
Yeah. So, vodka is one of the lowest sugar ones. Honestly, just the alcohol. I don't want to encourage everyone just to drink straight alcohol, but I encourage you just to drink straight alcohol because, tequila, vodka, those are great by themselves. But that's really the lowest calorie. Sure. Yeah, it doesn't have a lot of artificial ingredients in it. It's not the syrups. Instead of a margarita, just have a tequila with a little bit of maybe a little bit of margarita juice or something.
Just do tequila shots on that. You're okay.
Exactly. Right. That's or light beers, or even wine is okay. But you just you have to be careful with some of the more sweet, heavier wines. But port wine or things like that. But
port.
Yeah. I'm
sorry.
Yeah. I know it's yummy.
I know. That's good stuff.
I love that.
Yeah.
So
little glasses.
clear alcohol. Yeah, just
okay.
a little bit of port wine. Yeah.
3 more to go, please.
Well, and I'm all about having a great life. That's why, we talk about hormone replacement therapy to have a good life. I'm not trying to tell patients to deny yourself. I mean, you want to live your life to the fullest, but, be smart about it. So, yeah, just switch out.
And going back from the diet, so diet or hormone replacement, this is where Margo's passion is. When you discuss the hormones, and maybe that's where I guess I'm putting it all together, as you say, where people don't really want to talk about that. I'm thinking, hey, you feel better, you feel younger, you feel alive, you don't think about enduring or drudging through anything. That's not even in your mind. It's almost like when I first moved to Florida, I never thought about the weather.
Right.
I stopped one point and went, I never think about the weather. I don't think that my softball game or volleyball game outside is going to be canceled because there might be, we'll have to do a rain day. Never thought about that. And it's like this, you don't feel about, I'm not drudging through the day. It's really nice, and you just forget how nice it is. However, so I'm thinking of it that way, and when you say people don't really want to discuss it or talk about it, I guess because people... Is it because they just look at it in a sexual way?
Yeah, I think so. I think so. Because to me, it's normal. I talk about it every day, all day. So when patients say, I mean, of course, I do ask about your sex drive and desire and sexual function.
Hey.
Yours was perfect. So there's nothing to worry about. Yeah, it's all set. But that's one piece of it. That's just one part of it. And then, so, a lot of times, I think men are probably a little bit more hung up on the sexual part of it. But that's great, because what they don't realize is how much better the rest of them is going to feel, and like their energy and all of that other stuff. So
So if a guy, and we're all adults here, it's after hours, right? We're all good. If a guy, male and females on all this all across the board.
Yeah.
If a guy does this, does he need that other? What is it? A little.
Oh, like Viagra?
A little blue pill. What
a little blue pill.
Red? Is that what it is? Okay. I've never had to see one. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right.
So, man, take one.
It makes it so that sometimes I do prescribe that sometimes, but a lot of times when you do testosterone replacement therapy, you're right. You don't have to. You can stop taking things like Viagra, or using it less frequently, because testosterone helps with erections and maintaining them, and so you don't need the blue pill, which is nice, because not everybody really wants to take something and time it right, and and there's side effects from the medication, headaches and things like that. So
tame yourself, honey. I can't.
I know, right. There's that side effect, right? So no, people use those pills a lot less when their hormones are in balance.
Oh, well, just want you guys to know, you're watching Blue Rock Talk with Connie Willis. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do become a Blue Rocker. That means you are in the know. You'll get to watch some of the other shows as well, so make sure you hit that notification bell. This is Swellness Wednesday, and we are talking with Margo Toms of Essential Health. Now, we have Blue Rocker specials with the hormone replacement and also the weight loss with the HCG and the phentermine.
Right.
Or just the phentermine alone. And so take a look. They're down there below, Blue Rocker specials. She'll take care of you with that. Oh, I think, and all her links and websites, all that stuff is also down below. Now, one of the other great things about this is you can, people can live anywhere and still be helped by you.
Absolutely. So when I do, a lot of times patients live in remote areas or different states, or they don't know anybody that does this kind of stuff in their area. So there's, compounding pharmacies that make estrogen, testosterone in every city. So I have a lot of patients that either will call in, and I'll do a telephone consult, and they'll just go get blood work at a local lab, like a LabCorp or Quest in their area. And once I get the results, we'll go over everything, and they can fill prescriptions at the pharmacy near them. Or sometimes people just do email, or we do, FaceTime. So you don't have to live in Denver. Obviously, I'm in Denver, and But the pellets, that's the only thing. The pellets you do have to come to Denver for. I place them in the office. And so if you decide to do that. But all the other options for hormone replacement, you can live anywhere and we can make that happen. And same for the HCG and the weight loss. You can do things remotely.
Okay, so everything remotely except for the pellets. However, the pellets, again, are anywhere from 3 to 5 months that you do that.
You can come to Denver, for a trip for a day or two.
Or invite Margo to Hawaii or wherever you are.
I can travel. I'm willing to travel. Yeah.
So Keith Kroll is asking, are pellets, Margo, preferred delivery over creams and injections, or under the tongue? Under the tongue even? Yeah,
sublingual. They are to me. My two favorite methods are pellets and the creams. For men, sometimes the creams don't absorb as well. I think just, thicker skin and hair and all those factors. So you have an absorption issue. I do use cream for men, but pellets are the most natural way because that's what our body normally does. Our body normally stores hormones in our fat tissue, and whenever we need it, our body draws from that tissue. So the pellets are sitting there, and ready for use, as opposed to taking something every day. It's just the pellets are great because they're more convenient. You don't have to remember to take anything.
Right.
There's no absorption issue. It's in there, and it dissolves over time. But my least favorite method, and this is a little bit of a personal preference, but my least favorite is the under the tongue, the troches, because we like to avoid having hormones get into our GI system and into our liver, because when things go through the liver, the liver is a clearinghouse and it produces a lot of byproducts, and some of those byproducts are things that we don't want. It's like waste, and we don't want it. So especially from hormones. So the reason why they do a troche under the tongue is because it's supposed to be absorbed, right in that tissue right there. But some of it still gets into your saliva, some of it's still swallowed, and that will get processed through your intestines into your liver. So it's the safest route is to do transdermal hormones, so through the skin. So creams, pellets, injections. Even for men, I use testosterone injections. It just depends on if you're comfortable giving yourself a shot.
Is one more effective than the other?
I see better levels with pellets and injections. We don't do injections for women because the dosing, there's not proper dosing, but I get better testosterone levels and better hormone levels than I do with the cream. Cream is pretty good. And it depends on the case. That's why it's case by case, but overall I get better levels with the pellets.
Yeah, I would hate to do the cream.
Twice a day. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I'm glad with the pellets, so thank you for that suggestion. And
it works. Some people just don't want to come in and have a little procedure in the office or whatever. And the cream is fine. It does work. It will replace your hormones, which is the ultimate goal. But you have to be compliant. You have to use it every day, sometimes twice a day, and clean, dry skin. So if you're willing to do those things, that's fine. It works too.
Yeah. Wow.
But that's a good question.
Yeah, so there you go, Keith. He said, thanks.
Yes.
Thanks
all
already. Right. He's going to be calling you. I guarantee you that one.
Great.
You got a cowboy calling you. Cowboy. So that lets you guys know. Don't think, I bet I'm not going to do that. Only sissy guys do that. No. That dude's a cowboy. He's the real deal.
I see everybody. I see everybody.
And, I hope if anything from tonight, that all you folks realize there's something out there that can make me feel better. Maybe this is it. And that's where the Blue Rocker special comes in, because the consultation is going to be free. You can just find out if maybe that will work for you or not.
Right.
And then you can decide to move forward, right? It's not, some people will charge you for that consultation just to learn if you can do it. I think that's ridiculous.
Right.
So let's find out if you need it, and then you go forward. And so, Margo, I think that's incredible. I love what you're doing, and you do have passion. There's no question about that. You're very caring. You're fun. You're multitasking. You're doing things. You remind me of me, and we get it all done. Next thing I know, I'm all set, ready to go. So.
Right. Wonderful. Thank you.
Well, we're going to have Margo back again, and we're going to update on how I'm doing, and we're going to see what else she's got to tell. She'll probably have some stories along the way too. I'm sure there's all sorts of neat little fun things that you'll be able to tell us from all the different clients along the way, especially hearing about that couple losing so much weight.
I know. And he was supposed to have gastric bypass, and he was able to cancel that surgery.
Oh my!
Because he lost 100 pounds. He didn't need it after that. So I know it was wonderful.
That's
well, and I'm
amazing.
really excited. This, and it's with the HCG diet. It's going to be fun to watch you on here and see the transformation, because, like I said, even in a couple of weeks, you can see the difference.
Well, I tell you, it's going to be. Well, I'm going for the steak tonight. Tomorrow I'll have a bunch of bacon, whatever.
Yeah.
But after that, it is going to, I do have something called the Tower Garden. I do a playlist here called How Does My Tower Garden Grow? And so I've got all these great lettuces and greens that I can eat right then and there. It's all, just munch on it throughout the day or when I'm supposed to. So that'll be perfect. Yeah, so that'll work. But, I'm anxious to see how this goes. Those of you that say, look, that's just too little to eat. If you do it with the phentermine, it's easier, because that's like it's like this little thing that somebody goes into your brain and it clicks a little button that says you're not hungry. So it really does help in that. Yeah, it turns it off.
Most patients say, I'm surprised that I'm not hungry. I thought it was going to be much more difficult, but I can't believe how good I feel and how I'm not that hungry. And that's just part of how it works. So
all right.
Yeah,
so
I'm excited for you. Yeah.
Oh,
yay.
Lose this weight. This is going to be good, because I don't like it. I don't feel good with it. That's not me. It is not for other people either. You got to do things for yourself. I like to do things for myself. I get my highlights for myself, get my weight back for me, so I can feel good. Then I know that I'm doing the best that I can do. By the way, can I have carbonated waters?
Yes, you can. Mm-hmm.
Some people have a problem with that.
You can do LaCroix and things like that. You just have to make sure that there's no sugar. And so some of them have sugars in them, so you have to be careful. But no, as long as it's sugar-free, you can, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, something different.
Well, good. I think we're good to go then. Excellent. So we'll have Margo back. We'll see how things go along the way. Margo is a new blue rocker. Could you do the little?
So we're there.
Yeah. No, that's Spock. This is blue rocker.
What's the difference?
That's Spock. Spock does
yes.
Like, yo.
Oh, all right. Thank you for teaching me that. Look, I got my ring on and everything. Yeah.
And she can still do it, even with the ring on. So she's not half bad at all. So thanks for coming out. Hang in there, okay?
Thanks,
is there anything else you want to say before you take off?
I think that's it. And feel free to anybody, like, if you have questions, it's a lot of information. I just really want to help people kind of, find their way. So you can just email me or reach out and go on the website or call the office, or whatever works best for you. And we'll figure it out.
And when you get a hold of her because you want to check out the consultation, you just say, hey, look, I'm a blue rocker.
Yes.
Give me that special. And she'll be right there with you. All
Perfect.
Right.
Yes.
Cool. All right. So, Margo, we'll see you again soon.
Sounds good, Connie. Thank you.
All right. Hang in there. Hold on for a second. Everybody else, thank you for being a part of Swellness Wednesday. That was Essential Health. Margo Toms with Essential Health. And I think you guys are going to, this is going to be a fun series for sure. You're going to learn a lot. And I'm already feeling better. I think it was about 4 days into the pellets. And it's just all of a sudden, and I'm not even at the peak of it. That's what I keep hearing. So I'm really looking forward to this. So you guys want to lose weight, want to feel better, don't be afraid of the hormones. It's male and female both. Blue Rocker Special with Margo is going to have you getting a free consultation to see if you even need it. She's not going to throw you in if you she's not going to give you a bunch of bull. But I can guarantee you probably need it, because I would have not have thought of anything about this. So, all right, everybody. So don't forget Crypto Connie Tuesdays on Tuesday night, and that's all about cryptocurrency. This Swellness Wednesday, we'll be back with that too. Wasted Wednesdays coming up in the future. Far Out Thursday tomorrow night, Lori Williams is going to be with us. She's going to talk about Earth ships, an alternative way of living. just like we have alternative health tonight. It's all open-minded stuff here on Blue Rock Talk, Earth's most interesting conversations. No Bigfoot Friday this Friday. Go check out the documentary that I just shot when I was up there in the Rockies recently. The link is also down below. It's been doing quite well. I've got some film critics out there too, by the way. Remember, it's a hobby, it's fun, it's research, and I'm not going for Hollywood, or am I? So I'm going to be on Coast to Coast Friday night. Please join me for that. We're going to have Jim Peniston on with the Rendlesham incident. He's going to talk about things he's never spoken about before, and that is the UK's Roswell. It's going to be fantastic on Friday night on Coast to Coast, and then open lines after that. And then Stan's Bible Lecture on Sunday. So you guys, that's 2 p.m. Eastern. We got lots going on here at Blue Rock Talk with Connie Willis. And hey, we got more to come. We will be back, and you will see me soon. And you can tell me if you notice the difference of how I'm looking, how I'm feeling. In fact, people have already said the energy is back. You were looking good. You were sounding good. There you go. I love it. You're going to notice it too. All right, Blue Rockers, I'll talk to you soon. Thanks. Have a safe and happy rest of the evening.